What's up, guys? If you're here watching this video, you're interested in how to start a business during college and what that takes, what it looks like for me. And I'm going to tell you all of that. I'm going to tell you how much time it's been taking me, whether it's like just school or also my business, working with clients. I'm going to tell you the mental challenges that I went through, the mental hurdles, whether it's like social or anything else, especially during COVID. I think that's definitely important to talk about. And the last thing is I want to talk about risk, how I think there's never a better time to take risk than right now. But I'm going to give you the full breakdown of all my time. I track all my time in Toggle. Actually, all my time is screen time. So whether I'm taking classes, meeting with clients, meeting with the IFC, which I will tell you about that in a little bit, or anything like that, I'll give you the full breakdown in this video. So if you haven't met me yet, my name is bengreen. I'm the owner of optimizeis, and I help businesses optimize their processes, do workflow automation, marketing automation, and stuff like that. But I won't get into that too much in this video. I wanted to tell you more about my experience starting a business over this summer and then this semester in college. So right now I'm a senior at Indiana University. I'm studying operations management and information systems at the Kelley School of Business. I'm actually graduating here in December, so technically this week is my last week of business classes. And then I have 2 more weeks after I come back to finish out the rest of my credits. So I'll be graduating in a little over a month, but I'm doing 18 credit hours this semester, did 18 credit hours last semester, and I also have some extracurricular roles. So I'm the VP of Finance for the Interfraternity Council. That's been an amazing experience. And then last year I was the president of my fraternity chapter, Pi Kappa Alpha, here at Indiana University. Love those guys. But I'll get into more of that time aspect here in this video. So the first thing I will break down the time. So right now, just looking at my Toggle this week, it's 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, and I've already clocked in 69 hours and 57 minutes, so basically 70 hours already. And I plan on working most of the rest of today. I'll get out and do some exercise so that I'm not just sitting here in my office, but the full breakdown is I've been doing about this week 35 hours, nearly 36 hours of school. I worked quite a lot yesterday on finishing up some projects, so I didn't have to work it today. And then I've worked on YouTube. I've done about 19 hours. I'm trying to get more views and help more people with their business struggles on YouTube. So that's taken up a good amount of time recording, editing videos, as well as like brainstorming. How can I better serve clients? How can I better serve YouTube and help more people? And then for client fulfillment, I've spent about 15 to 16 hours just straight like working with clients and helping them with their processes, optimizing that stuff, whether it's YouTube, Asana, Slack, that kind of stuff. So overall, I've been doing like 70-hour weeks, and I would say since the start of this semester, I've been doing nearly 60 to 70-hour weeks, if not 75-hour weeks, on a regular basis. And the most important thing for me is limiting the time that I'm doing school. I found that there's 2 things that like one lights me up and one just drains me at this point, because I think it's a little bit of senioritis kicking in, but I'm just very ready to graduate and I'm very ready to move on to the next chapter of my life, because I think after I graduate, I'll have a lot more expansion and have a lot more time, because I'm spending over half of my time right now, 51% this week, in school, doing schoolwork. And I find that I spend less than half of my time in my business and working on clients, but I have twice as much growth personally and with the clients, like stuff that I'm learning with them, than I do in the classroom and with the IFC board. It's important to note it is coronavirus time, so like most things are shut down right now. So there's not exactly a ton of like going out and doing stuff with friends. Like we can go out to the bars and stuff, and that's fun, but there's a huge limit on social gatherings here. So that aspect has been sort of stripped from my life. Essentially, it was very present when I was fraternity president, but not so much anymore. But I really wanted to hit on the fact that like if you have a passion that lights you up, you're going to be able to be so much more productive in that. And you might only have to spend like 4 hours a day or less than that in your business to have really good results. So I find that when I'm doing school, I'll get distracted really easy. I think the biggest reason for me is it just doesn't light me up anymore like it might have a few years ago. It's still very exciting stuff for me. Like I love learning about, especially my information systems classes. I'm not especially like keen on like learning how to code and stuff like that, but it's still just like, it just drains me when I have to work on school, work on a project that I know it'll get me to my degree, but it's not going to get me much further than that. And I do think there's a good correlation between my degree and what I'm doing a dual major and graduating a semester early, and I'm doing software consulting. So the operations and the information systems, I think it's aligning there. And so that's still giving me the motivation to graduate. But I do think there's something to like having that thing that actually lights me up in my career that I'm starting, and not doing recruiting but working for clients. The second thing that I want to talk about is I don't think there's ever been a better time to take a risk than right now when I'm about to graduate, or even if I wish I would have started a year ago doing the same stuff that I'm doing now, because there would have been even less risk then and I could have built a whole nother year. So what I'm trying to say is start where you're at if you're interested and if you have a passion to help people and deliver value to them. I think one of the reasons that there's never been better risk is I'm not looking to go get a job at like some big corporate company like nearly all of my peers are. All my peers in the fraternity and all my classes, they're going to get like a, not quite a corporate job yet, but a job that will lead them to there. And one of the things that I looked at was when I was interviewing with places like last year trying to find internships and stuff, is I looked at the people who were like 5 years out or 10 years out or 15 years out in those businesses. I was like, is that where I want to go? And like, it just like sunk that like, that's not where I wanted to go, and that I wanted to do my own thing or at least find something that lights me up. So I didn't want to go out and get a job in a business because essentially you'll have golden handcuffs. Like you'll have that salary that they'll get you and then you'll have all these benefits, and then when you want to leave and start your own thing, it's going to be really hard because you'll have golden handcuffs that keep you with all of that stuff. It's going to be a lot harder to start your own business than right now when did have zero income. I've already, like this semester, I'll make a lot more than I did in the past year. I won't tell you exactly how much, but I do think that's important that I'm starting from zero, not starting from like, say I got like a 50 grand salary at some job and then moved down to zero to start my own thing. I think the hardest part of starting a business while you're in college is everybody else around you is looking for that corporate job. They're recruiting for those kinds of jobs. And so I think they'll be extremely supportive of you doing your own thing and following your passion. But I think the hardest part to get past is breaking the habit of being yourself. And that's a great book. Go get it on Audible. I encourage you to get Audible and listen to books on there. But breaking the habit of being yourself, breaking the habit of being just like your peers, I think it's really easy to get like stuck in the ways of like, well, one, what your professors want you to do, but also what all of your peers are doing. It's just like easy to be like, everybody's interviewing in the fall or everybody's interviewing in the spring for internships for jobs. But saying, no, I'm not going to do that is like, it takes a lot of might to do that. But there's never been anything more rewarding than doing that, being different. I think that's definitely been one of the driving factors for me in starting my own business is I really want to do something different as well as provide a lot of value. And I found that I can provide a lot more value working for clients on my own rather than being stuck in one company doing a cookie cutter role that really most college graduates could do, just to provide a little bit of value so that I can get a little promotion and then keep getting like little things. I think there's a lot more value that I can provide here on YouTube as well as for my clients in being myself. One of the things that really helped me this year was I joined a group of, I would consider it, there were a lot of entrepreneurs in the group, but it was a group called Man Cave with Preston Smiles. And I encourage you to go look him up on YouTube after this video. But that was an amazing, it was a group of conscious men. They all helped, they were all very conscious, like emotional intelligence super high. And I learned a ton from all of them. And that's actually where I found one of my first clients, was in that group. He sought me out to hire me, and I worked for him over the summer, and now I do some consulting with him on the side while I'm going to school. I think one of the biggest things that this group helped me was I actually went and meditated for, it was a 90-day program, and like you like give up a vice, and mine was not meditating. So I meditated for 30 minutes every day, but the most important thing here is to find something that you can stick to for those 90 days that will help your mental, your spiritual self, and that will get you further. You really can't start a business if your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health isn't aligned. Because like if you're already feeling drained of energy while you're eating junk food and not working out and not taking care of your mental health, then if you try to add on like tasks of starting a business on top of that, then it's not really going to go anywhere. You're not going to have the energy, the extra energy to spend your time in your business. And I think that's really going to be one of the things after I don't have to do school anymore, since that really drains me. That's going to help me move further than I am right now. And that's going to provide a lot of expansion, as I was saying earlier. I also want to touch on, make sure that what you want to do isn't just for the money. Because obviously you might obviously know that like in the beginning, it's not going to provide the most money as like, say, going and getting a job for like, that's a set salary that you would be getting. But I think over time that will go up. But I think you should do it for how it fulfills you. Find something that you're passionate about, that makes you happy. Like making YouTube videos and stuff makes me happy. I think one of the biggest things that fulfills me is helping business owners save time, helping them improve their processes and seeing them improve and grow over time that we work together, essentially. So I would say just think about what fulfills you and then take the leap. Like start where you're at, but also know that you want to take the leap and you want to do more, and figure out sacrifices in your life, whether it's not going out to the bars as much or finding a better group of friends who are more entrepreneurial if that's the route you want to go. But just start where you're at. Like I started where I was at and just helped people and tried to deliver value. I didn't worry about, oh, what's my accounting process, or oh, how am I keeping track of like what I'm putting out. Like that did come, and that's here now, and I have processes in place to help me with all of that. But just start where you're at and figure out if there's a market for it, and then figure out how much time you can dedicate to it and track your time. That's one of the biggest things that for like efficiency's sake and productivity is I track my time. So I encourage you to track your time, and don't be afraid to put in like those 60, 70, 80 hour weeks on like any given week, even if it's throughout the whole semester. You can take a week off. Like I took a week off and only did 50 hours, which I know is still a full-time job, but I got all my schoolwork done. I knew it was a lax week in school, and so I still got all my work done, and I got 3 videos out, which is what I've been trying to post. And I've been taking the leap every week to do what I want to do. So I'll just recap. So my biggest things are the time. So it takes a lot of time, but there's also never been a better time to take the risk that comes with like starting your own business. Because even if I'm a year out of college and everything failed, then I'm still a college graduate. I'll only be 22, 23, and I'll have a year of failure experience that I can learn from and either then go try to find a job, which I don't think I'll try to do, or start something else and keep going with my passion of helping businesses. And then the third thing is make sure that you have your mental health, spiritual health, and physical health in check, because if you're going to try to do something bigger, then you need to have those things aligned. And don't let that be like a mental block of you like, oh, I already don't do this, so like that's gonna just be so much more work. Like you can start where you're at still and be working on that stuff while you're working on your business. It doesn't have to be perfect for you to start, but just keep in mind that you do need to improve that stuff if you want to keep growing your team, your business, your revenue, etc. So I hope this was really helpful, and I hope you learned something about starting a business in college. And this is my experience. It's not going to be everybody's, but I encourage you to take the leap, start your own business, and follow your passion. Go ahead and click subscribe, and also in this end screen, you can go watch the video from Max Card. It matters where you're going to college more where you're going from than where you're going from, I believe. It's a great video. I encourage you to go watch it now. But make sure to hit subscribe and hit the like button. And if you're really interested, turn on post notifications. But hopefully you go watch that video and you gain a lot of value from that.